Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Today, innovation teams are kept separate from the teams which are within the company which are doing regular production activity. So that's a very critical thing which happened over here. And these are the first prototypes which came up of both the pumps, the mono pump and the dual pump. Will it be easy to change the cards here? Of course. Will it be a bonnet type of design? Yes. This whole panel drops down like this. There the petrol pump lifted like this, here we are dropping down like this. So you need to have all the features inside the pump. Without that, maintenance features doesn't work. So maintenance is very easy. Look at this whole panel comes off. So you're going to have very good access to all the hydraulics inside. So assembly aspects taken care of. In 1998-2000, this was like, that people in motorcycles used to add oil separately. You are aware of that? It was such a pain, right? The whole area was mucky and people would slip and fall. So we created this inside the same pump where the oil premix happens automatically. I have a small, meter there which will register the oil, and for example, a motorcycle guy says, "I want 5 ml chahiye." Whereas a scooter person will say, "I want 4 ml." So we would change the amount of oil mix and automatically mix the oil in the petrol inside the pump and dispense it. It was a big hit. So that was the beauty of this, and unfortunately Z-Line could not do all these because Z-Line was a very compact design. It was a great design, but it was compact to the point. So look at the differentiations of how this new product, because of new situations, developed. And then we got the first order for Bharat Petroleum, and the first order itself we installed in Sevri petrol pump over there. And by this time, the prototyping technologies were phenomenal. That is, they were so good that the prototype could be installed in the field. Whereas when I did Z-Line, I installed it inside my whole plant. I was not very confident that it can be in the field, but here the prototype was installed directly in the field and we got direct inputs of the product and it performed phenomenally well. We had the mono and the dual pump installed in the station. And this was installed in a location which is Bharat Petroleum's officers' quarters, like all the DGMs and all would stay there. And every morning, these people will come and fill petrol here. The Bharat Petroleum officers. And instantly they gave a large order. The first order, pilot order itself was big, around 200 numbers. And then, this went into production. So we rolled the sheet and fabricated it such a way that we can mimic the shape of a Nokia phone. At the same time, the cost of production was extremely low. So that's the beauty of this, design. And we use special CNC fabrication. Look at all these points from where my hose came out. Here we have a keypad design. We have an automatic dispensing. You want 3 liters, you can punch 3 liters, you can get 3 liters petrol. So we had special solenoids. So all those features were added into this. And on this side, we had a printer. So everything would be integrated, and these dimensions were very accurate and they were all designed using CAD. So we had very, very good system in place. This is one part of the assembly line, which is called the test rig. And this one in the bottom, we have a huge tank in the factory. And what are we doing? Remember endurance testing I told for Z-Line? We are taking the fuel from the bottom of the tank, putting it back in the tank continuously for at least a day before these pumps are dispatched to the market in the production line. Endurance is separate, but this is in the production line. You have a test rig where you sort of test. So now here we are. So we talked about how we built these teams, and the network external team was very critical, where all the vendors who supported us were phenomenal. Let it be the CNC aluminum pipe bending person, or the CNC fabrication person, or the person who gives all the components in the meters and the pumps. The pumps were manufactured in Coimbatore, which is the largest sector in pump manufacturing. So we got the best places from the best locations. So, though L&T was the largest company, each individual component of this product was much better than the Larsen & Toubro product. So the suppliers, the distributors, the technology providers, academic institutions, me. So we have the external team. We have the R&D institutions, which they were talking a lot about, with R&D institutions abroad to understand, the flow of petrol. We had other consultants coming in. We had a lot of interesting user groups, which we call psychologists and user groups. And we went to huge production. First order itself was big. Very nice to see those multiple products. Whenever it was like great pleasure to see, large production happening, because BIDCO never produced so many pumps. So by this time, it was already 1.5 years. Now the first order, 200 numbers, we already jumped. And then there was a huge market penetration. Any new company which comes in wants a new pump, right? They won't want the Z line. It's already old. So they took up these new pumps. So, we developed a lot of new pumps. So there was very, very tough competition to Larsen & Toubro because our costs were low. Lower cost, better product. And better longevity, more silent, easy to use. Remember, hose coming from the top. So at every level in the sunflower model of innovation, the new pump was better than the Z-line pump. So in the year 2007, where did they reach? They reached 200 crores. So, we went forward, and I think the company is still doing well after 10 years. Innovation happens when the product reaches the end user. Very clear. We just can't call it innovative if it has not reached the end user. And collaborative innovation, of course, was the key, where we looked at core teams who are like, do or die, they're fully on the job. We have the enterprise-wide teams which give you the creative and the critical check of where to go. And then we had the external team, which is also, we calling them teams with their support structures, which give you tremendous amount of inputs and understanding of the users, understanding of the materials and manufacturing, understanding of the processes, research domain, sociology domain, multiple things which come from the external team. So these things happened constantly in all the things. And this was the outcome of the PhD research I did at IIT Delhi. And now we have a project in hand. How do we handle the project which has come to us from NID? So NID, is well-known design school in the country, and ONGC approached National Institute of Design, and Pradyumna Vyas, who is the director of NID, also an alumnus from IIT Bombay, approached me because I was working in petrol pumps for last 2 decades, and we built a wonderful team. And then we collaborated with BIDCO again, which is a manufacturing company, day one in the project, which is unheard of. So these are the images which are like computer renderings, which are not very detailed. They're like mock renderings from the computer where the student quickly picks up, or some designers quickly did some sketches. And they said, these are the possible options, because ONGC had a large branding exercise. They went to brand managers across the country, got to the best brand company, and they decided they'll call their brand the Oval Dispenser, or the Oval will be their brand. So then, we had Manoj Dubey, who was the Master of Design from IIT Delhi, who joined BIDCO at that time when we came up with the Bullet Dispenser, which was the earliest success story. So he immediately conceived the total product with all the parts and organization of the projects. So I was the consultant for BIDCO as well as working with NID. So we had this collaborative team. So we quickly worked out what type of product organization which will happen. Product organization is very important. Where will each part go in the product? How will the parts be organized? So where will the electronics be? How will the hydraulics work? You see that large scale drawing where we talked about every part of the product. Now we are making foam 3D mock-ups using digital printing, and the product looks like real. What is this? This is a working rig of the mock-up. Does it look anything? It has a little bit similarities to the mock-up, but all the parts are just put together. This is a very, very important component in innovation and creativity, where you just make the product work. You in electronics, you put a breadboard and get your circuit running. It's like that. It's a rig. You put things together, in whichever fashion, and you make the pump run. Look at that guy. He's actually filling petrol. He's checking up accuracies. Look at that panel. We just picked up the Midco panel, the old one, just to put the panel over there. It doesn't use all the right components. So you just rig things together and make a working rig very quickly. So we're still not crossed the prototyping stage. We're still half in the prototyping stage by making the working rig. So even prototyping became very, very high tech. Earlier, remember in the Z line, I prototype using hand tools. Now we are prototyping using CNC tools, and this can be done, very effectively. Then we built all the structures inside with very, very high accuracy to fit the pumps and the motors. So it's like a monocoque. See, within those 15 years from Z line to the Bullet to the, Oval, the technology had gone leaps and bounds. Electronics technology and microchip technology. So this particular LCD panels, what you see, were very, very high end when compared to the Z line or the Bullet. Remember, our formula was very clear. Use creative ideation, use contemporary technology and materials, and then you will be having innovative product in your hand. So all that was, the formula was same what we did for all the projects. And then, we came up with a very good organization, improved the pumps and the meters, and then took it forward. And then we reached the final prototype. Look at that painted model. I was showing you the unpainted model. So here we are created a pump which is tremendous user convenience. Now tell me, why is the hose again come down? In the Bullet we had the hose from the top. Because there's a lot of innovation in the hose technology by then. The hoses became lightweight, they were easy to take around, and the Oval dispenser said that we don't want hoses to come from the top because of a branding issue. So we had to innovate on the hose material itself, and the hose material is made out of PU, and that's very, very light. So the convenience to the user is not lost. Then we have this, the display reaches the person in front of the car. The display comes in front. The use of contemporary technology for user delight. We use the best displays, light signages, modular assembly. A lot of components inside are modular in nature. We had the oval shape coming up very well, which was very well appreciated. And the fuel dispensing was visible from those flow ports, which again was a very novel feature in the pump. So, this also makes the pump look very inviting and new. So because of the light on the side. And then we reached very quickly the pilot production stage. So we had a large collaborative team to work in. A lot of people put their hands together to come to this particular very, very different pump. And the whole world stood up to see the pump from Europe to US. They were pretty shocked that we could come up with a pump which is like so different, at the same time using all the new technologies in the petrol pump business. And you can now see the range, the mock-up, the rig, and the final product. You can imagine that is pretty close. We had to create 7 pumps and put them up at Mangalore. They have a large refinery in Mangalore, and they said we'll first put our first petrol station in Mangalore. The decision was taken very quickly, and we were both at IIT Bombay, Midco, and NID. We worked relentlessly for a year to make these products come to the market. And then these were launched in Mangalore. So these are all the 7 pilot production pumps on the display in the station. And then all the other paraphernalia around, the air, the printers and the oil dispensers, they all did a little bit of similar branding and product organization for that. And look at this display being stuck to the windscreen of cars, and people are extremely thrilled on its working. We know now it's very easy to put a display, because we have, today you have an app, and I can see what's happening on my pump in my mobile. If I can, get an app, Indian Oil can start an app, and I can actually see my dispensing happening on my mobile tomorrow. It's that cool today. But this was in 2004, and we did this work, and then, this is our first day's business. A lot of people poured in because the petrol was cheaper than the Indian Oil station next door. So that was another serious problem. So a lot of people came in to fill petrol. These are the signages outside. We call it the totem pole. The symbol outside, as well as the display to say that this is where the petrol pump is. So you can see how we, over a decade till 2005. So from 1999 to 2005, we have these products which are all the same segment, same product, technology changed, materials changed, features changed because of the way the users changed, right? So that's the whole journey I want to share with you of how we did seeded innovation, because this didn't reach the innovation because this goes a mass, but still it had all the components, and because of political reasons this didn't go to the market. So it's very interesting. Innovation can be stifled because of various reasons. It could be political, it could be lack of funds, it could be lack of will of the management. There could be so many things coming. So what is challenging is all innovation journeys are very, very complex, and you need to understand all the parts very carefully, and then be very attentive from the beginning to take these things forward. And after this, the company started producing the multi-host dispensers also, because by the time things changed, so we had multiple designs happening, and company did furthermore, and things went forward. So what is interesting is we did these multi-host dispensers. Again, the same formula we used. I don't want to tell you again, the formula was very straightforward. Component assemblies, quick layout, take it to CAD assembly, come down to electronics for the MPDs, modular design, development, CAD model, prototyping, develop the first prototypes, develop the easy maintainability features. So see, now it looks like cakewalk. Get all the operations done, and finally Midco had a multi-host dispenser for the export market and the bullet dispenser for the local market. So 2 products in the market line, and company is still galloping forward, and I think the company is still doing well after 10 years. So I thought I'll just show you this story, and this time we specifically talked about how same domain, same product, we could innovate to the next level.